Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. I'm going to share with you in this latest Moon Lambo Hot Jam a ton of reasons as to why what is most probable is a continuation to the upside, and ultimately, XRP, of course, playing part in all this, hitting a new all-time high and entering price discovery, and frankly, if you miss out on this, it is your own fault. We're all adults here. We get to make our own decisions, and I'm not pretending like there's no risk, and I understand that, fine, of course, I could be wrong. Nobody knows anything for sure, but where's everything pointing us? Like, what is most probable? Based on, even if you throw out the charts, what's just based on historic precedent, what is most probable? And I think it's very clear an answer is dramatic movements to the upside. So I'm going to lay a case for that in this video. And there's a reason. I don't just blindly believe this or feel this way. There's sound logic and reason and data that has caused me to believe that what is most probable is a monstrous move to the upside. And should that indeed occur, I'll tell you what, I'm going to be here. I've got my exposure. I am perfectly positioned just as I want to be. So I will have the exposure if this does indeed happen. And there will be people trying to chase this if it happens, and that is so risky. I mean, to each their own. You all do whatever you want. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying, I know that doesn't frequently go well for people. Chasing green candles, good luck. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. I want to first share with you this post from chart analyst Mustache. He wrote hashtag Bitcoin. And again, I wanted to be clear, the reason I'm highlighting this, and I somewhat frequently share posts that are in line with this one, it's because historic precedent does matter. History does rhyme with itself. It doesn't perfectly repeat, but yes, it rhymes with itself. Draw upon past data to come to reasonable suppositions about what is most likely for this market cycle. That I think makes a ton of sense. So it's a Bitcoin price chart, and he says, there will be a time to be bearish on Bitcoin and crypto, but that time is not now. The last and strongest phase of the entire cycle is yet to come. The big bull is waiting for you. And so he's showing you data literally going back a decade. So you can see what's happened in multiple cycles here. And you can see this must be the relative strength index here, and it certainly hasn't peaked like the last couple market cycles, has it? That's one more thing that you can look at. And no individual metric is the end-all be-all, but that's why in videos over a long amount of time, I keep highlighting all sorts of different metrics that you should look at for Bitcoin and for XRP to see how it's unfolding. This is not what it looks like to be at the end of a market cycle. If we are, then this time actually is different. And those are famous last words. It's almost 0% of the time is this time different at any given moment in time, right? But eventually, like he says here, there will be a time to be bearish. And so there's this post by a popular chart analyst who I'm not particularly familiar with. I just became aware of him recently, but he's got quite a following here, 135,900 followers on X. And I'm not going to read the whole post that he shared. It's on your screen right now. You can pause if you want to read the whole thing, but I do want to read the top. He says, the reason why it doesn't matter if some scamfluencer calls for a $150,000 Bitcoin and why we can still easily go there is because by the time we would get there, they'd start calling for $300,000 to keep the engagement farm going, and the mob will believe it and not sell because they are greedy. And so that is true. Most analysts out there, the vast majority, are complete and utter garbage. The ones that I follow regularly, it's for a reason. Because again, most are absolutely garbage. And because of the selections that I've made, what I found is that when we were at the bottom, when most of the scamfluencers and the terrible chart analysts were calling for lower levels for Bitcoin, going down to $12,000, at the beginning part of 2023, not one of the analysts that I follow was calling for that. Not one. But that wasn't the popular position. And so what I wanted to share with you real quick here is that at some point we're going to be reaching the top of this market, and what you will see from most influencers and most chart analysts, they'll be screaming that we're going to keep moving to the upside. This happens every cycle. But eventually it's not going to be true. Even if it's true now, it won't always be true. A top will be found and people won't believe it's a top. It will be euphoric and people think it's going to keep going. So I'm just telling you here, and I'm not a chart analyst myself. I don't want to be one. I have no interest in being one. But I like to follow reputable chart analysts with a good track record. I just wanted to tell you right now, when we get to that point, I'm going to tell you, hey, these reputable chart analysts that I've been following, many of them for years and years and years, they're all saying the same thing here, because I bet they will. I'm willing to bet they're all going to roughly agree when we're near the top. They're going to say it, and I'm going to share that with you. And it's not going to be popular opinion, but I'm going to say it. When it happens, I'm just going to say it. I'm going to say, hey, here's what they're reporting. And do you want to know when we hit that point, or do you not want to know? Like, I know you, because even if you want to keep moving to the upside, do you want to live in reality or not? Because most of the typical living retail speculators, this is how they get wrong-footed. So just letting you know, keep hanging out with me. I will let you know when we get there, but we are not there at this particular moment in time. That's all I'm saying, folks. There's this post from chart analyst Dr. Magic, Bitcoin Peel Multiple, and he said, we are, and this is, again, one more thing you can look at, one more metric you can consider that says, guys, this is not where we land if we're at the end of a market cycle. That's the reason I'm highlighting this. He says, we are missing the overheat signal, currently ending the mid-cycle cool-off. We are entering the most bullish quarter. US dollar index is going down. Liquidity is going up. Sentiment horrendous. Recession is not imminent. You won't have any excuses if you miss this bull run. Yep, and it's all up to each of us, and that's why for me, I love my investment strategy, which is after I buy stuff, I literally do nothing. For better or worse in the short term, don't care, don't give a damn. Even if I buy stuff and the market goes down, I'm like, okay, whatever. I let years and years and years and years pass, and then the crypto pie gets bigger, the market trends up as years pass on the whole, and everything's fine. But all that to say, if you don't get to experience life-changing wealth, it is your own fault. You have the opportunity, and that's such a cool fact. I just find it so empowering that regular people like me and like you, we can achieve this. And I've been heading in that direction overall for almost 7 years. I've been in crypto almost 7 years. I'm telling you, it works. You have broad exposure, and you let time do the heavy lifting. Same for the stock market. There's a reason that people invest in the stock market for decades and decades and decades. They end up very wealthy by the time they retire, if not sooner. The concept is similar, even in crypto. It's just that it's on a much faster timeline because there's so little money in crypto compared to the stock market. There's almost none. So you can get these crazy multiplier effects. Like this, there's never been this opportunity in the history of our species. I'm not going to bungle it. I'm just going to keep holding. There's also this post from chart analyst Dr. Magic. He says, engulfing weekly candles at the upper or lower limit of Bollinger Band are rare, and more often than not, they indicate a change in the regime. Reclaiming the middle is the confirmation that a change in regime has happened. And in this case, he's got a Bitcoin price chart on the screen. And so you can see at particular moments when this has occurred that it's been an indication of what's yet to come. And so what he did was he took this signal and he applied it to XRP, and wouldn't you know it? So again, one more thing you can look at, in this case specifically, he's talking about XRP. And he wrote the following. Went through XRP for the same signal I posted below for Bitcoin and got same results. Probably it's a signal that works with many assets. The only false alarm was the SEC lawsuit, but understandable since that period there was an alt season ongoing. And then he reposted that and wrote the following. And this is just from this morning. He says, 1+ year, and this is an XRP USD chart, 1+ year of a reaccumulation range, engulfing weekly from lower limit of Bollinger Band 2 for XRP. Market about to enter the most bullish quarter, monthly volatility at all-time lows. Patience and zero feelings will be highly rewarded soon. Well, I'll not be surprised to see that come to pass. And it is true, historically, September is an awful month for the stock market and for Bitcoin specifically. For out of the last 13 years, have been like 3 months where Bitcoin is in the green. One of them happened to be last year. So I'm not saying it's impossible this year to have a green month for Bitcoin. And interestingly, if my memory's not mistaken, I think for those 3 instances where Bitcoin was green, I'm pretty sure, and you can fact check me unless I could be wrong, but I think that the entirety of the fourth quarter, so literally October, November, and December, for each of those years where Bitcoin was green, each of those months, the fourth quarter, were also in the green dramatically. But either way, even outside of that, even in years where there's been a red, a red month in September for Bitcoin, you have still seen, in general, fantastic performance in Q4. And we're in a bull market right now. So what do you think is most probable? My bet is continuation to the upside, because historic precedent would have us believe that is what's most probable. I also came across this post from chart analyst Polly, over 70,000 followers. I'm not particularly familiar with this individual, but I keep seeing stuff like this, and it does make sense to me. And he says, yes, XRP is about to print new millionaires. Can I argue with that? XRP has made many people millionaires in the past, and I don't think that story's over. I think it's going to happen to a bunch of people. I'm willing to bet that, if we do see this continuation to the upside, I'm willing to bet that a lot of people listening are going to come into a lot of money in short order. That would be my guess. And somebody asked him, hey, I have 218,000 XRP. Will it make me a millionaire? And Polly responded, absolutely. Which of course means, even, less than $5 XRP, but, I don't make price predictions. I always admit I don't know what's going to happen with price, because that's true. But to me, that still, doesn't it sound conservative? Like even just $5. That's why when analysts are talking about anywhere around like 10 or 15 bucks, there's a chance even that's conservative, but that seems like a reasonable expectation based on performance in crypto. Like that doesn't sound crazy to me, at least. I don't know what's going to happen, but it doesn't sound nuts to me at all. And that would be a massive pop from where we are right now. Absolutely, truly massive here. There's also this post from chart analyst Crypto Michael, and he said, the XRP pump will be disgusting. You won't even have time to FOMO in once the 7-year bull pennant breaks out. Certain traders with high conviction are about to get filthy rich. And look, I think there's a really good chance that is correct. I'm counting on it for myself, and we're going to find out together what happens, but yeah, absolutely. And either you have exposure when this happens or you do not. But when we are reaching that peak, and it's going to be unpopular to say, hey, XRP, it looks like it's getting overbought at this point finally, even if that's at 10 or 15 bucks, who knows what it's going to. If I see a bunch of analysts that I respect saying, hey guys, it looks overbought, be careful, I'm going to share that message with you. If I see a ton of analysts all saying the same thing, because I track them pretty much on a daily basis, right? I will be talking about that. And I know it won't be popular, but if you want to live in reality, then good, because that means that you're the type of person that would appreciate hearing those types of perspectives. But I know it won't be popular. But I'm going to do it. I'm going to, if that's what's being stated, and these are the analysts I've been following for years, and they're way more correct than incorrect, yes, I'm absolutely going to highlight that. And I think that that's something that is worth knowing when we get to that point. But the good news is we ain't there yet. Higher first. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.